Let's see who comes on.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Crystal. Yep. It's recording already. So recording and transcribing. So we'll be able to share it with everybody. Yeah. We'll wait until like 5 after to officially start. But I see Crystal is joining us. That's it so far. But we will have more soon, I am sure. All right. Should I play a little Ben Folds to get some inspo going?
Yeah.
We watched we also watched Shrek last night.
Dude, we watched Shrek this weekend with our kids. I was like, because they always want to watch like a movie. I'm like, dude, you need to watch Shrek.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good.
I know. Now we're gonna watch.
Be a little glass of wine. If you don't believe, listen up to my new thing. Come on. Ah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Ben Folds is very well known, but he's not like that mainstream.
No. I mean, my James didn't know because I was like singing to all these songs. He's like, I feel like I'm like getting to know you all over again. Who are you right now? I'm like, this is my high school, man.
So good, so good.
Yeah. People rolling in. We'll start here in about 5 minutes. You can just enjoy the lovely Ben Folds music that we have going on. My friends also like started a band in high school.
Mhm.
So like Ben Folds is kind of their inspo for the music genre and stuff. So yeah.
I haven't listened in a couple of years.
To bring back
Good
so many
stuff, man.
memories.
It's good stuff.
Oh my goodness. So I got both the Q&A and the chat up. So welcome in, guys. For those of you who are just joining, we're gonna get started here in a few minutes. Just sorry, we were jamming out to Ben Folds. If you know, you know. But we'll get started in here in just a few minutes. Just want to give people a little bit of time to roll in. So sit back, relax. It'll be about 30 minutes. We'll leave some time at the end for Q&A and yeah, get started here in just a little bit.
Got to bounce out early. That's okay. We'll be able to have a recording of this on our social media and YouTube. You need to check it out later on.
Yep. And because this is recording, we can also share it with anybody who's interested as well. We'll probably just send it to, if you signed up, obviously we have your email and we'll just send you a copy so you can have that for your reference. Right, got about 12 people so far. Okay, maybe I should down for that part. That doesn't seem very work appropriate.
Maybe it does. You never know. I'm sure some people feel that's very work.
Yeah. Yes. That was one of my go-tos. What else? What's an obscure? You have like a band that you really like that was like.
Oh man, like I said, I've been watching the hit maker that is the OC recently, and that is chock full of indie rock.
Yeah.
Bunch of Pinback, Death Cab for Cutie, Jimmy Eat World,
yes.
all that early 2000s alternative rock, indie rock.
Yeah.
Real good stuff.
All right.
Real good stuff.
I love it. I love it. All right, one more minute and we'll get started, guys. Yeah. There's anything else? So let me see if I can find my mouse on the screen. There we go. Okay. Is it Friday yet?
Almost, man. 16 hours.
For those of you who are already here, anybody have experience with AI or hats or anything like that? Raise your hand, or you can comment, drop it in the chat.
Even if it's just basic, I asked ChatGPT one time how to make a recipe. That's using AI.
Which I definitely have.
Which I use it on a weekly basis to do that.
Or I have these ingredients. Pick a recipe for me.
Dude, I tell Jet, or I use Google Gemini. Here's what I got in my cabinet.
Okay,
Tell me some recipes.
Rob is using it. Awesome. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. So a couple people maybe. Perfect. All right, why don't we go ahead and get started since we have a limited amount of time.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. As the intro said, we'd love to talk today about using AI in your business, and also just the best practices to use it in your business, at home, some of the safer ways to use it, and some of the recommendations that we have that will best utilize, that you can best utilize, either from a utilization standpoint and from a security standpoint. So thanks for joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in our chat. I can't promise that we will get to every single one of them, but at the end, we will provide links and opportunities for you to view this whole entire thing online, on YouTube, and through our social medias. And if you have any other questions, reach out to us personally. We will absolutely get back to you with any best questions that you have, and answer whatever you need it to be. Thank you very much. My name is James Donahue. I am our Client Success Manager here at Natural Networks. My duty is to ensure that all of our customers get the best experience with whatever tools that we have to provide the best services for using your IT, having your IT needs. This is Mandy Romo.
Hey guys, I am the marketing coordinator, and I like to call myself the unofficial AI guru because I have been going to many different conferences and whatnot and learning just like a sponge, like my 2-year-old son who repeats everything that I say, just learning as much as I can about AI and the different ways to utilize it. So we're excited to get started.
Absolutely. So basic start of what AI use it is and how you use it. Most likely, you're using AI through something called an LLM. That is a large language model. You're probably familiar with some of these ones that you see on the screen. OpenAI's ChatGPT. Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Anthropic's Claude. These are most likely chat options, chat softwares that you've used to ask it basic questions. How do you do something? How can I better do this? How can I utilize that? These are all machines that are trained on information that is already given to it. So whether it's a question that you have given it, information you have given to that LLM, or information somebody else has given to that LLM, the answer that it provides is based off of whatever information it already has. Those LLMs have large access to not only just the internet itself, but anything that anybody inputs into it. Those answers it gives is going to be based off of all the information it has. It's always best to be pretty secure and be pretty smart about what you might want to give in to those LLMs from a business perspective. Those LLMs, they use everything that you give to give its answers. They often rely on memorizing patterns, sequences, or just information to think that they're giving a good answer. Sometimes they might invent something they might think is a fact, but it's not actually true. Maybe you might have been speaking about something and you accidentally say something wrong, and AI is going to do that exact same thing. Whenever you ask any AI or any LLM a question, always best practice to review what it said. Don't just blindly think that it's the best answer and use it, whether you're using it for your own personal information or whether you're using it from a business perspective. You always have to double check what it's telling you. Check its sources. Oftentimes they will give you a source on where it's getting that information. Just look it over real quick and make sure it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, just ask it. Treat it as a person that you're talking to. Hey, this doesn't seem, type it in. This doesn't seem like this makes sense. Can you please confirm whatever information that you gave me? It might think for a second and either confirm, yes, this is the correct information, or it might say, oh, you're correct. Thank you very much for calling me out on that. Here's a better answer or resolution to what you are asking me.
Yeah. So basically, you always want to have human eyes on any answer that you have, especially if you're, for me in marketing, I always double, triple check before I post anything to, our clients or anything like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about best practices. This is just tips that we've learned as we've used Hatz or ChatGPT or any AI chats to get more out of the chats. And so we've got just 4. This is all very high level. We could probably talk for like 3 days straight about LLMs and stuff like that. So we're trying to keep it more surface level. So we can just kind of get through all of the information. The first tip is better input equals better output. So be as specific as you can. Tell it as many details as you possibly can. What is the goal exactly? Who is your audience? What is the tone you're looking for? And the more information you give it, the more accurate information it can give back. If you're not sure what information to give it, the biggest eye opener for me was just ask. Say, hey, this is what I want to accomplish. What information do you need from me? Before accomplishing this task, ask any clarification or questions to help you complete this, because sometimes you're not thinking of every little detail that you need or want done, and it's helpful just to ask the LLM, what do you need so that you can accomplish my task? The next tip or advice that we have is not all LLMs are created equal. So try different ones. You might like, Sally or Joe might like ChatGPT better. Somebody else might like Gemini better. There might be, something that's better in this area. Here's a couple examples that we have found. This isn't, written in stone, but if you want a brainstorming partner, ChatGPT is really good at that conversational, coming up with ideas, brainstorming through different things. It's always very agreeable, which if you don't want it to be agreeable, you have to tell it, don't just agree with me. Actually, you have to let it know.
Be specific.
Be very specific. Real-time info and events, Gemini is usually better for that. If you're vibe coding, my husband's an engineer, so he's familiar with Claude Opus. If you're trying to create SOPs and training, Scribe is a really great one. And we believe the best all-in-one is Hatz. And we'll get into more detail on why we believe Hatz is the best for just overarching all different LLMs. And I'm gonna let James take over with the usage optimizations.
So anytime that you ask anything to any LLM, that LLM uses a little bit of energy to give you a response. Depending on how much information you give it, and depending on how much information it's going to give back to you, it uses energy. That energy usage in the industry is usually utilized by a token. So the smaller amount of energy that LLM has to use, the fewer amount of tokens it has to use to give you that answer back. Every single LLM, whether you use it as a free version or you purchase a version for your personal use or a business use, is going to give you a certain amount of tokens that you can use, usually per month, for its subscription services. ChatGPT, for example, will only let you use a certain amount of tokens in a 3-hour window. The harder questions, the more information you give it in a time, in a 3-hour window, it's going to get closer to saying, okay, 3 hours, we've hit that max, you've asked too many questions, or you've given us too much information, or we've given you too much information. We got to wait for those 3 hours to start or restart again until you can utilize that more. Gemini, Google Gemini's, it will reset at the end of the day. Claude does a 5-hour window.
Similar to
Hatz.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all mostly what you're going to get through every single either enterprise, business, or personal use. Hatz does not do that. Hatz gives you a certain amount of tokens for the whole entire month. So you can use as much energy, give as much information as you need to any day, any time of the week. Hatz is not going to limit that to you. Hatz is a overall general use AI LLM. Hatz combines all of the different types of LLMs that we have. It combines ChatGPT, it combines Gemini, it combines Claude, it combines literally every single LLM that is out there as all-encompassing.
Almost all, not every single one. But
almost all, because AI is changing every single month, every single week to give you the best responses and answers that you need to for your business to utilize. Hatz is going to reset at the end of every single month. So you can use as many tokens as you need at any given time, and you're not going to be limited per task. Maybe you're going through something incredibly hard. You're doing a big report that you got to get out by the end of the day. Hatz is not going to limit you at the end of the day, at the end of 3 or 5 hours saying, hey, sorry, you hit your limit. You got to stop. It won't do that until the very end of the month.
Oops.
Hatz will also automate almost everything that you would like to do. Just like any LLM, Hatz and AI does things faster. It does it quicker, more consistently. You can think of it as having your own intern. That's an unpaid intern for the most part that you get to ask it any time of the day, any day of the week, do this task and accomplish it. It will remember what you asked it to do last week. It can pull information from certain files that you have, certain emails that you have, certain tasks that you've given it. You can designate any type of LLM to make a workflow, say, based off, if I give you this information, can you please give me that information? You can utilize it just about any single way that you want to get your business's practice done. Treat it like you would any person that you're asking to give tasks to. Give it directions, tell it exactly what you want to do, and it will do it. The better direction that you give, the more information that you give it, the better responses it will give you, and the better information it will be able to extract from its memory, its learning model, and give you information on it.
For sure. Oops, sorry about that. So, I saw some questions. Thank you guys for putting them in there. We will definitely address them. We're just trying to get through the presentation and then we'll come back to them. So thank you guys for asking them. What we're going to talk about next is why a free AI specifically is risky at work. So the most obvious one is data exposure. You don't want sensitive data or any of that being out to the public, because whatever you put into the free AI, they can learn from it, they can use that information, and if it's confidential stuff from your company, you really don't want that being distributed to the world, essentially. The other thing is compliance issues. It could be with your customers, with your vendors. I saw a compliance question in here, which we'll get to. So you want to make sure that you're putting up, to go into the next one, guardrails, if you will, or governance on what AI can learn from. You don't want it taking your secrets and exposing them to the world. And then the last one is something maybe not everybody thinks about, but Hatz is very, very good at collaborating. So instead of, this user having, and it could be a paid version, which isn't exposing data and stuff like that, and you can make it private, but you've got people flying solo in all of these different LLMs, and it makes it hard to make sure that everybody is standardizing, that things are unified across the company. So something like this is great for collaboration and being able to work towards the same goal. So we said, okay, so there's issues. So then what? What do we do? After trying different LLMs, we recommend Hatz. And I know we've touched on it a little bit. James touched on it a little bit already, but basically it's a creation of 70 secure AI models in one controlled environment. You have admin, so you can set governance and guardrails. It'll give you access to multiple agents and tools with no downtime. So you're able to access, here, I'll show the list, sorry. This is the list of all the AI models that are available. There's about just over 70, I believe, right now, in Hatz.
I think literally today it even got updated. Tomorrow.
Oh, okay, well,
AI always adds.
It's going to change. Probably by next week, they'll have 80. I don't know. But for now, when we made this, it was 70. So, and I know it's kind of small, but I just wanted to show you the plethora that is available to you. On the left side is standard, and those are available and use less tokens. So you're allotted this big bucket of tokens, and different models will use different amounts of tokens. On the right-hand side is the premium tokens, or premium models, apologize, and that uses more tokens. So I think Jacob asked, if there's a monthly token limit. There is. And these ones would not be always available if you hit that limit. You still get the standard, all these different ones. And really the premium ones are like the latest, greatest, newest models that have come out, essentially. So, oh yeah, demo time, woohoo. Okay, I am gonna go through and show everybody an example. I have created, for sake of time, I'm not gonna go through and let it think. So I have a chat that I had created beforehand. And I was asking it because I thought a lot of you might be interested in creating an SOP or something, something similar to that. So I asked it, I said, I'm creating a client onboarding SOP for our team. Please help me draft a clear, practical process that starts after a deal is signed and ends after the first week of onboarding. Now, I went through and listed, things that were important to me, things that I could think of. But the most important part is here at the end. I said, ask me any questions or clarifications that you need before creating the SOP in order to effectively complete my request. So that goes back to one of the tips that we said, be as specific as you possibly can. But if you don't know everything to put in there, ask it, have it ask you back. So it said, absolutely, I can draft that. And it gave me a list of questions. So who are the core roles? What handoff points are most important? Goes down through a list of about 9 different questions. So I replied back and I answered all 9 of the questions. And this is what it came up with. So we've got the onboarding SOP, we've got the purpose, the start, main processes. So it went through all these steps. I'm not going to read it all to you, but this is an example. The handoff points, kickoff preparation checklist, mistakes to avoid, and then a shorter version. So it ended by saying, if you want, I can also turn this into a 1-page SOP format. And I asked it, I said, can you turn this into a checklist that can be reused with each client, maybe in PDF or similar format? So it came up with this, got the whole checklist, action items, suggested use, and then I asked it to create a PDF. And so I was able to download a PDF and it helped me create the process. So that is one example. The other one I recorded ahead of time because it took a little bit of thinking. So I am going to play this right now. Hopefully everybody can hear it okay. Make sure the volume is up. Yep, okay. All right, here we go. Can we hear or is it not working? Let me try to refresh it real quick. Just make sure. Try again. Sorry, guys. Next example is a demo of how to utilize Workshop with pre-made agents and prompts from the Hatz community. To find this, you go to the tab Workshop at the top of the screen. I saved the one I wanted to demo for time's sake, but you could search for any ideas and see what already exists. The one I chose gives you 3 questions to answer, and using several LLMs gives you a report back. Once again, for time's sake, I'll hop back to the results from this search. You can see I searched for insurance companies with a min of 10 employees and a max of 100 employees in San Diego for our managed IT business. And here are the results. As soon as the agent is done doing its search, you can scroll through, ask more questions, or at the bottom, you can download the CSV file for you to use in your prospecting. Perfect. So that is just one example. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of videos that Hat has put together that we will be putting together, and some other ideas that we have. But it's really handy. It's kind of going back to what James said. We're treating it as an intern. They're not dumb. They can figure it out, but they have to be taught. And essentially, you want to treat your Hatz or LLM, whatever it might be, the same way. So let me get back to this and oops, back one. There we go. All right, and I'm going to pass it back to James to close us out. We got a couple more slides, and then we will answer questions.
Thanks. So security more so than ever in this day and age is very, very important. Every single week, you can read articles on any newspaper, anything online of a type of breach, whether it's a big business or a small business. Oftentimes that is coming from a business using a large entity of bad actors trying to find a small business's information. Sometimes that information can come from using an LLM. If you don't have the proper guardrails and safeguards to protect your own proprietary information, whether that's your individual SOPs, whether that's your customers' information, financial information, client information, if you don't have those safeguards up, bad actors can come in and threaten you by stealing that information. Oftentimes, using a free LLM opens up the opportunity for other bad actors to take that information. We have found that using Hatz has the best guardrails and safeguards to keep your information stored. You can think of it as a locked box of individual data.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Throwing you off.
It's okay. Your data is stored whenever you use Hatz. Your data is stored in a box that nothing else can access. Even Hatz, even other customers that Hatz has, they cannot use your information to be trained to utilize their information. It gives just a greater sense of security that every single business needs in this day and age of a peace of mind of, I know my data is secure. I know the information that we give to this LLM is secure. It gives an audit trail and governance. Every single LLM at a local, state, and federal government level has different compliances that they need to go by so people can use them, so people can trust them. So insurance companies can say, are you sure that you have all this data secure? If you don't have this data secure, we can't insure you. Hatz gives all of those compliance at the highest levels for what you need. It gives every single person the ability to share safely within your own organization. So any information that you share doesn't go back to anybody else that might utilize it for any bad purposes. And lastly, from a higher organization level, anybody higher up in the organization can control what information is even put into Hatz, can control what information is shared within Hatz, how people use Hatz at an organizational level, to make sure that even people aren't sharing information from employee to employee that they shouldn't be sharing. If you use a free version of Google or free of Gemini, or if you free version of ChatGPT, you're not going to get those safeguards. Hatz gives you those safeguards that you can assure that all your information is safe, secure, and isn't going to be out of compliance with anything at all.
I'm going to pause you just real quick. We are at time. If you need to drop off, we understand. We were doing our best to there's just so much information we want to give. We will probably do another one of these. James is going to finish up. We've got 2 more slides. If you can hang around, great. If not, we will send the recording of this. So sorry to interrupt, but go right ahead.
Yeah, lastly, the ability to share information between individuals within your organization is not something you're going to get when you sign up for an individual LLM like ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude. With Hatz, you can share in individual chats, agents, workflows between people. So if I start something, I have a process. I say, I want to extract certain information from emails. And then I want Mandy to collaborate with me and get more information based off of what she knows. I can pass that chat or pass that agent on to her, and she can collaborate with me and use that same agent or use that same chat that I've already been using and all the information that comes with it to further our objective. You're not going to get that with OpenAI or with Claude. You're not going to get that with Gemini at the free version.
Or even with the paid version, it's segregated to each individual.
It's paid by user.
Yes.
It's not paid by company.
Correct.
Hatz isn't a whole company-wide usage. If you have 10 employees at your company, if you have 100 employees at your company, if you have 2 employees at your company, you pay the same amount of money per month, no matter what. It's not by user, it's by company. Any other LLM, you're going to be paying by user, and you're not going to be able to share that same information from person to person to person. Hatz gives that ability for you. Want to wrap it up because we're running out of time here. Some of the things that Hatz is just, it's so much better than any other LLM out there. To wrap everything up, sharing information between individuals in your organization, something you're not going to get with any free version of an LLM. Cybersecurity and just overall secure practices. You're not going to get the same guardrails with any other LLM that you're going to get with Hatz. And finally, just peace of mind of use. Hatz has so many ease of use videos, trainings, experts here that you're not going to get anywhere else. If you sign up for Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT, you're going to have to go on YouTube and kind of figure out what you want to do. If you don't know how to use it, you're going to screw up your algorithm. Nobody wants their algorithm screwed up. With Hatz has a bunch of different videos that you can watch to better train yourself. You have the information resources here between Mandy, myself, and anybody else at Natural Networks, just to better utilize all the things that Hatz can give for you.
Awesome. Perfect. So we had a couple questions. We will answer what we can. There's only a couple, so I think we should be able to get to them. I am not positive on this first one. Rob asked, does anyone know whether Hatz is CMMC ready or certified? He saw that they're SOC 2 certified, but he's trying to figure out whether it's federal compliance requirements such as CMMC or FedRAMP.
I believe we have to get back to that specific one. CMMC
yeah.
It's a pretty high level of security. That's a very good question to ask. I'm not 100% sure that Hatz is complying with that or not.
Yeah.
But for that individual question, we will get back to you on that.
Yeah, Rob, we will double check. You are correct that it is SOC 2, SOC 3, but I am not positive on CMMC. So we're going to have to double check and get back to you. Jacob, I kind of answered your question. If you hit your monthly token limit for Hatz, can you continue using it without certain premium features, or will you have to wait till the next month? It won't just turn off. You can still use the standard. It'll still, give you basic answers. It's just the higher level, the more premium ones, you won't be able to have access to. So if you have a chat already going in, I don't know, whatever the newest ChatGPT is, you can transfer that information into a lower version, but you won't be able to consider the
You're not going to have access to the absolute latest LLMs that take the most amount of energy. The reason those ones are the most premium is because they just take the most amount of energy to use. Think of it as you have a battery that has a ton of power, and you just want to plug in a little remote control RC car, right? You don't need all that power to do one individual thing. you can probably find a battery that's a little more suitable and gives a little less power. But these larger, the newest models of the LLMs that come out, they take so much power to do the same amount of stuff that a smaller LLM can do, that usually it's a little bit more conducive to use a smaller one. And if you do go above your token usage by the end of the month, you don't get turned off. You just have to use the LLMs that are that don't require as much power, which I would say 90% of the time, you're not going to be affected by it at all.
Right. And then the last question is the memory extended across all models used or only within the same model? I believe it's with any.
It's with any model.
Yeah. So I don't know if everybody who asked the question is here for sure, but yeah, I can double check on that just because I don't want to give false information, but I am almost positive. I have asked questions in Hatz and it knew my style of writing or whatnot. So that is all the questions, and we are over time. Thank you guys for sticking around, and thanks for joining us. And
if you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to us individually. We can absolutely answer every single question that you have, down to a very small, minute point.
And if we don't know the answer, we have access. You will help us learn. So thank you guys again. We hope this was helpful, and we're hoping to schedule some more informational sessions as well. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.